Hi, today I'm going to read you a book about a famous painter, Claude Monet, and this is called Phillipe in Monet's Garden. And so Monet was very famous for his paintings of gardens, and so that's why this book is set there. And this is by Lisa Job Carmack and illustrated by Lisa Canny Chaso. This story begins in a frightful way. Frog legs, special of the day. So that's a restaurant, and their special is frog legs today. Phillipe in Monet's Garden. In the city of Paris, as everyone knows, frog legs are eaten, except for the toes. They are buttered and baked and sometimes fried, and the bigger the better is always the guide. A train ride away in the French countryside lived a frog named Phillipe with a marvelous stride. He got his name because of his leap, which was the biggest and grandest, just like his feet. Phillipe liked to play in his pond every day, and he tried not to mind when his friends were unkind. Tee-hee, ha-ha, you're a dumb-looking frog, they teased the unhappy Phillipe. Your thighs are too long, your shape is all wrong. You can't be our friend, you just don't belong. So there are the teasing frogs. And there's poor Phillipe. The frog catcher crept with his big trusty net as they bullied Phillipe and made fun of his feet. Oh no, it's not fair, they cried in despair. Phillipe in your net is a far better bet. Big feet or not, I haven't been caught. These legs won't be buttered and baked or fried, but as for you, well, I bid you goodbye. So there are the two frogs that were teasing him, caught in the net. And there's Phillipe diving into the water to get away. Leap, leap, Phillipe, he heard the sheep bleat, and he kept on hopping. There was no time for stopping as he made his escape from a gruesome fate. And down here, if you look kind of closely, they've got the French numbers, 1, 2, 3, written on the ground because this is taking place in France. Just when Phillipe was all out of leap, he came to the gate of the Monet estate, and reading the sign which suited him fine, he begged Monet's pardon and entered the garden. So there's Phillipe, and look what the sign says. Can you read that? No frog hunting. That's a good place to be if you're Phillipe. Oh my, what a size! I can't believe my eyes, exclaimed the painter Monet. What a physique! Those legs are très magnifique. You're the perfect addition to my garden, not my kitchen. So there's Monet leaning over to look down at Phillipe. Phillipe's grin grew a mile wide. He wouldn't be buttered and baked or fried. The smile became his only expression because Monet's garden made quite an impression. Look at him leaping around and smiling. And notice all the pretty colors in Monet's garden. Monet showed him the pond of which he was fond, where he painted the light between daybreak and night. And as for Phillipe, there were bugs of all kinds, green ones and pink ones, on which he could dine. So Phillipe found a home to call his own, and Monet added some green to his painterly scene. Now I want you to pay close attention to this illustration, because the way the illustrator of this book has drawn these pictures, it's in the style that Monet used. Lots of little brush strokes. And look, there is Monet himself painting. And he uses lots and lots of brush strokes to get the colors of the place he's painting. And that is the end. And then on the back, they give us a little information about Claude Monet. So I wanted to read that to you as well. Claude Monet was a famous painter who lived more than 100 years ago. He lived in France, in a country town. He loved bright colors, so he planted many different kinds of flowers in his garden. He dug a pond and filled it with water so that he could paint the sky and trees reflected there. Monet planted beautiful water lilies in the pond. Their leaves floated on the water, and yellow, pink, and white flowers bloomed on top of the leaves. Monet loved to paint with bright colors too. He painted pictures of the water lilies in his pond by dabbing bits of color side by side. When you stand back, you can see the shape of the flower, but when you look close, you see strokes of green paint. Oh, sorry, not green paint. You see strokes of paint. Look at how Monet used blue and purple and pink and yellow and green. So, what they've done is they've given you right here an up-close picture of what his painting looks up close. And almost, does it look almost a little messy? Like it's like blobs of paint everywhere? But then when you stand back from his paintings and look at them, you can see the flowers and the water and the sky and the trees in his paintings. So that is the beauty of the way he painted. He's called an impressionist because he gave you the impression of what things looked like. They didn't look exactly like a photograph, but from far away, they're very lovely. And up close, it just looks like a bunch of blobs of paint. It's a really neat way to see things. Okay, thanks for sharing with me today.